Good afternoon, Load Warriors. It has been a while. What did I just drop? My wallet. It has been a while. I think at time of recording it's been, I want to say 2 months since my last video went up. I know on my last video I said that I was getting a new job, and then I recorded and I released a bunch of interviews, and then I've been basically radio silent since. I've been kind of working through getting new jobs and stuff, and I finally found a place that I'm willing to stay at. You know, because I was working at a place that was paid hourly, hauling hazmat, doing retail delivery, but they paid hourly, but there was no overtime. It was like route pay. So like if I got assigned a route that was like 12 hours of work, I would get 12 hours of pay for that, which in a situation where, like, if for some unknown reason I get stuck in traffic and it takes longer, I do still get paid for that. But also if it takes me 11 hours to do 12 hours of work, I still get paid the 12 hours. And I guess because of how that worked out, I never got any overtime. So no time and a half. The current job that I have is with a company that does pay overtime. It's a pretty decent starting salary with overtime, and one of the other benefits is I'm working with Colton, which if you've seen the interview, you'll recognize him. He was the one who has the curly blonde hair. I'm working with him at a company called American Welding and Gas, or AWG for short. It started out, I'm assuming it started out doing exclusively welding gases, but we now handle more than just welding gases. So my job there is pretty varied. I do a lot of different stuff there, and I've been kind of getting in the swing of things. And while I was in the process of doing all that, I also ended up getting this new camera that I have. For you guys, it probably won't look much different, but it'll make it a lot easier for me to do my job on my end while recording than having a GoPro strapped to my chest. So because the scope of my job has changed, there will also be there's also going to be obviously some video changes with that. I don't really do a whole lot of backing up anymore, so there won't be really any backup footage. I drive day cab, so you won't see a ton of like me sitting in a sleeper talking. I do a lot of customer facing deliveries, so in those aspects you probably won't be able to see, but maybe possibly hear what's going on. I've talked to my boss about the process of me recording YouTube within the company, and he gave me some stipulations that are, you know, more or less like reasonable. Like I can't show customer faces or customer names, don't want to show inside of buildings or anything like that, but other than that, you know, just some common sense stuff. So yeah, I'll be making a lot of deliveries, so it'll be mostly, it's a lot of hands-on work. Like today I will be doing CO2 deliveries around Bloomington, Indiana, which will just be, you know, me going to, like, say a White Castle and giving them CO2 for their drinks is essentially what it boils down to. And I think, you know, I said I wouldn't, you know, expose customers, but if I record myself at a White Castle, it's going to be really hard to record me doing my job without you could like implicitly understand that it's a White Castle, because unless you're from the West Coast, well, I say West Coast, unless you're from the like western half of the United States, so like west of the Mississippi, you probably know what a White Castle is. So, you know, there are some places, but obviously I won't record me if I have to go into the back and make a delivery, or any kind of passwords or, you know, stuff like that that would, yeah, just like, you know, like security sensitive stuff, obviously I won't show. And then because we don't just service, you know, fast food restaurants, you know, it'll be like kind of like a as I go type situation where you know, I will or will not record what I'm doing based on where I am and the situation that I'm in. And I'm basically doing CO2 all week. Friday, I should be doing something called Thoroughbred, which if you have ever frequented a Tractor Supply or Rural King and you've seen their propane, out near their propane shacks, there's also welding gas cages. So we distribute that. So that's scheduled for Friday. We'll see if that even happens. But I got a lot of stuff going on. Anyways, I gotta head to work. So yeah, I just wanted to, I guess I was just recording this for kind of an intro, just kind of let you know where I've been. And then I will, I'll see you guys when I get to work. Well, I have made it to work. I've got some de-icer fluid, windshield wiper fluid. Sorry if I sound muffled, I'm wearing a face mask because it's cold as hell outside right now. I've got some diesel 911 if I need it. I don't think I'm gonna need it, to be completely honest. But in case I do, I'll be using that. And then I also have some this stuff, but the regular kind, the one that's not for like emergency usage. I have that kind. For the most part, the truck shouldn't need it because if you've gotten fuel from anywhere in the last, I don't know, few weeks, they're probably pre-treated. I'm pretty sure, who is it? TA starts treating their fuel pretty early on. Ugh. 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 All right, let's see here. How does it all look? It's not too bad. All right, but one thing that I do need to grab on the other side, I need to grab this, and I need to grab my work phone. So here at AWG, they give us a work phone. This is like where all of my stops are gonna be, where it's all stored. It's also how I clock in and start my Samsara. So this truck is $429.38. I don't have a trailer. Been off duty for 107 hours because I just got back from Thanksgiving. I hope everybody had a wonderful holiday. Go on duty, view all tasks, AWG sign in, continue, and here's my DVIR. Pre-trip, perform inspection. Now, I get to do my inspection. Yay! Woo! That's what I got this bad boy for. And these gloves are for that as well. And then I don't have a hammer because like a big dummy, I left my hammer somewhere. But I have a big ol', that's my big CO2 wrench. Ooh, I'm at like almost 400 PSI. I gotta blow that down a little bit. And I've gotta take this bad boy out. Oh, nice, they filled it up. Oh, since they filled it up, I need to get the lot number. Ugh. The last place I did CO2 at, they have a 12,000. Oh, that's not good. I only have half a tank. Oh, I know why I only have half. Because I couldn't fill up after I was done with my last, because we didn't have very much here. Okay, so kind of like to explain to you how this kind of works. I don't know if you guys can see this. Well, thanks to my new camera, I can check. So you can kind of see this. It's a little hard, especially since it's at nighttime, so the quality of the video is really bad. But as you can see, this is how much is in my CO2 bulk tank. Right now I have just over 4,000 pounds. Now, under normal circumstances, that should be full because I should have filled up from here before I started my, before I ended my day on Wednesday. I could not do that because on Wednesday, the people that I filled up have a 12,000 pound tank and this is an 8,000 pound tank. So I had to give them, I think I gave them 10,000 pounds. And I basically drained this tank. And so I had to wait for them to fill it before I could fill this tank. That's what I get to do first thing in the morning. But before I do that, I need to clock in. Okay, I'm all clocked in. Now I get to have the fun of doing this. This part is so much fun. So what I'm doing right now, you guys might not be able to see it too well, but this is the liquid fill port. So when I'm filling liquid, this is where I use, this is the gas use port. So if I have to give somebody gas, this is where it would come from. But there's also is a vent. We use it to vent when we fill up, which, by the way, is quite possibly the loudest thing I've ever heard. So I'm not gonna record me filling up. I'm kind of recording, you know, all the cool stuff, but I'm not gonna record me filling up because I have to vent, and the venting is so loud. Now I gotta use the biggest, coolest wrench I've ever seen to tighten. Okay, cool beans. What am I doing with this? Before I fill though, I'm gonna start with an inspection because I wanna make sure the truck is in good working condition. This flashlight sucks. It's cool, but it sucks. I need a better little miniature light. Let's check. Okay. I've got enough radiator fluid. Belts are working. Slack adjuster is tight. Tight. I got windshield wiper fluid. Air filter's good. The fuel filter is still liquid. That's a really good sign. That means the fuel was treated. Oh, thank goodness. Some of these trucks have, this truck has it too. An engine block heater right here. But there's not enough spots for us to park the trucks to take advantage of it, unfortunately. So, I'm gonna check my oil, kind of. This isn't really a good way to check it because a lot of the oil goes, oh, I just heard that voice of my Siri talking to me. I thought somebody was behind me. Holy crap. Started to freak out. Anything looking out of place? Oh, I gotta check tires. I don't have a hammer. I remember I don't have a hammer, but I do have this gigantic monkey wrench. Or pipe wrench. I think these are called pipe wrenches. I don't know why they're called monkey wrenches. It's not exactly the best tool to use in this situation. But she's good enough. I need to replace the hammer that I lost. Okay. All right, and now we check the lights. All those lights are working. All those lights are working. That light works. That light works. And then also, because this is a HAZMAT vehicle, I have to verify that the placards are all good. It will only ever carry CO2, so it has a permanent placard for CO2. UN 2187, baby. Ugh. I gotta make sure that they're not faded. That's the big thing with this truck, because I never really have to worry about whether the placard is right, because the placard never changes. But I have to make sure it's the proper green color. It's not faded. It hasn't been weathered. It's still perfectly legible. Okay. So I've checked everything that I can check. Now I have to fill up my truck. And by fill up, I don't mean fuel. I mean CO2. So that's where I'm gonna cut off the recording now. The next time you'll see me, God dang it. The next time you see me, it'll be the inside of the truck. All right, let's get the heck out of here. I am 100% prepared for this. I gotta watch out for these cradles though. Make sure I've got nothing in my mirrors that would be of concern, like leaving something connected. I got my PSI up to 300, which is good because this CO2 truck uses what's called gravity filling. And that means that it's essentially using things like gravity in PSIs. It'll flow high pressure to low pressure. So I have to be up at about 300 to properly...
Recalculated. Now turn right and then turn right onto Rand Road.
Oh, there it goes. I have to be right around 300 in order to be able to properly fill the... The tanks that I filled have a maximum pressure of 300. So as long as I'm at or around 300, I shouldn't have to constantly blow their pressure down, like vent their pressure out. I should be able to just kind of fill them up.
In 400 feet, turn right onto
but
Rand Road.
I mean, things never go exactly perfectly, so I'm sure I'm gonna have to vent them at some point. It's kind of inevitable. But we'll see.
Right.
Okay, well, I'm out of here and I'm on the road to Shepburn, Indiana. So I will
1,000 feet, turn right onto West Southern Avenue.
I will see you in Shepburn. Being HAZMAT, I am obligated to
Road crossing ahead.
stop at all railroad crossings. It's I have to stop between 5 and 50 feet from it. Whew. Man, it's scary. This is only my second time doing this route. The first time I did this route, I accidentally sheared the fill port on the bulk tank that I was filling at this first stop. And then at my second stop, I locked my keys in my truck and had to wait for somebody to come rescue me. So that was a lot of fun. Hello.
Hey, what's up, bro?
Oh, nothing much. Just made it to my first stop.
I think you're just a pussy, dude.
Oh, is that what you think?
I ran the numbers, I did the math. Certified.
Okay, well, I gotta do CO2, so I'll have to talk to you later, my friend.
Good luck out there.
All right, see ya. Now, luckily, this CO2 is significantly less loud than the other CO2. So there's our, oh, I have to mark that I'm here. First, I have to, okay. So first you have to check to make sure that this vent is closed. And then you open this up. Okay. Now we have about 250 psi in the. Oh, I've lost some psi. That sucks. Today's gonna be a rough day. This is our little. It's not really a regulator, but it keeps track of the flow. All right. Now I gotta be careful with this. You gotta screw it in. And then usually I like to have the vent, which is this thing. I like to have that pointing up so that it doesn't fill this area with as much CO2. So now the goal for this is to do hand tight, and then we take this little doohickey, and then we can really tighten it. Okay. And now we check the PSI. So this is the tank's PSI, and this is the line's PSI. So the tank is at 260, right? No, 280. Each tick is 10, which is a higher PSI than what I have in my truck. So I'm gonna close, make sure all these valves are closed, and then I open. Let's see here, how full are they? About half full soon. So I open this. So now that the fill port is open, I vent it down. Okay, I cut it off. And then we just kind of fill. And then we go to the counter. It's going up. This counts the pounds of CO2 that pass through the hose. So now I just kind of wait until it stops. Now, unfortunately, because I'm at 250 PSI, I'm probably going to have to vent it down a couple times while filling it, because I got the gas down to 125-ish PSI in this tank. So as CO2 liquid fills in, the gas that is left will get forced up, but it will have nowhere to go because the port where the gas would go is currently being filled with liquid. So the pressure inside this tank will gradually rise until it's too high, and then once it's too high, this tank will no longer be able to force the liquid in, because if the pressure in here and the pressure in here are the same, they're equal pressures, the liquid will no longer move into the tank. At that point, that's when I have to close off the liquid valve and vent it out until it's a lower pressure again. If we get lucky, we might be able to fill it up before it gets back up to the 250 mark. We'll see. We're guessing about 180 pounds is what they're gonna need. We're at like almost 80 pounds right now. They might need less because they weren't quite at halfway. One good way to tell when the tank is full is the pressure gauge will go up rapidly. So if I vent it out down to the recommended pressure and then I start filling it again and it goes up really fast, that means that there's not a ton of space between the liquid and there's not a whole lot of area for the gas to take up. Okay, so as you can see, it stopped filling. So now if I go and check the PSI of the tank, it's at 230, which is the PSI that's in my hose. So it's not gonna fill anymore. So when that happens, I close off the liquid and then I vent it again. That's why we close the vent before we start filling liquid again. And as you can see, the pressure isn't rising rapidly, so we know there's still space. All right, we've officially hit 180. So once it stops filling this time, then we will, that'll be it. Because we hit 180, it's past the full line. Now we watch. Okay, if you can kind of see, you can kind of see that the pressure is rising pretty quickly now. So that means it's full. Okay, so now my liquid valve is shut off, their liquid valve is shut off, but there's still gas in here. So we vent it out. And that's one stop done, 199. So now the last thing we do is we close off this vent. All right, so now you are at chest height, and I was going to make one stop. There was a stop that I was supposed to go to right after my lap, my first one. It was, they were full. But now I'm at a nondescript restaurant to fill their CO2. Gotta reset this bad boy. There we go. Now for this one, I'm gonna point it that way. What's above me will catch the CO2 and force it back down on top of me. And I don't want that. When I go back there, I will be covering you guys up with my book shirt. Everything seems to be in order. All right. But you guys will still be able to hear. Okay. Ooh, the PSI is pretty low. I actually don't have to vent it at all. It is leaking a little bit, but not enough to be concerned. As you can see, maybe even that, they were at half full. So now I just think until it stops that. Essentially, it'll be like 2 seconds PSI. Or when things are full, whichever comes first, and sometimes both. Yeah, okay. So, time to go vent it. So it's at 220 PSI. Oh, what the hell? Okay. Yeah, as you can tell, this is a pretty, the connection is really bad. It's like, I can't tighten it anymore. So that cool feature that I was talking about is I can tell the PSI. I can tell the PSI on this thing. Well, how many pages? Where are we at? 150. Yeah, it's pretty about par for the course. All right, I'm not exactly liking this setup, but this is the setup that I have to go with. I still feel it going. I can kind of feel vibrations. Did they turn it off? I think they might have turned off their CO2. We're gonna get clogged. Oh, they're full. Okay, that works for me. Once they're full. Okay. Now that they're full, and there's no pressure. Yay, dry ice. Ugh. Okay. And close. 201. Perfect. And then I close this. All right. Well, that was this stop. So, yeah, I've got a little bit of, I think I got about a 30-minute drive ahead of me. Yeah, it's a 30-minute drive. Okay, well, I've got 28 minutes, so I'll see you guys when I get there. All right, I'm about 6 minutes away from my next stop. My next stop is a gas station with its CO2 tank outside, so it's a pretty easy stop. I mean, most CO2 stops are pretty easy. I'd say probably the hardest are restaurants, and specifically fast food restaurants, because most like sit-down restaurants that I've delivered to have their CO2 tanks outside. If this is the place that I think it is, I don't have any phone service once I finally get there. Phone service there was really bad last time. If it's the place that I'm thinking of. I think it is, but we will see. Time will tell. I will say this camera is pretty freaking awesome. I like the fact that I have like a small, the camera module and the screen are separatable, and I can use the screen as like a remote viewer. It also syncs up with my microphones, but when I sync it up with my microphone, I can't actually use the remote viewing feature, which makes me think that this remote viewing uses some form of Bluetooth. So when I'm using the Bluetooth for the external microphone, it takes up it takes up the bandwidth, all the bandwidth. So it can't display video. So I just keep them separate. Using the remote viewing feature is far too useful to give up, especially when I can just use the microphone to record as is. It doesn't need to be connected to to the camera. This was the railroad crossing I was talking. See, there's this railroad tracks. Oh, there's actually a train coming on the right side, but that's okay. And then there's this set of railroad tracks. There she blows. All right, there's like a Ford Expedition parked right where I need to go. Interesting. I have really good phone service right now. Last time I was here, I had no phone service. Okay, now that Ford Expedition is, oops, Sarah. Okay, on duty. How much are they thinking that they're gonna? 137. Well, we'll just see about that. It says they're full. They feel pretty full. The problem is that I don't want to leave and then run out. What is their PSI at? Looks like my PSI is going up a little bit as the day progresses, as it hopefully gets warmer. It's like 150. See, this is the struggle, because if they're full, I don't want to charge them. Like, I don't want to charge to deliver, 50 pounds of CO2, because then it's just not worth it. They don't really feel that. They feel like there is, CO2 in it, but they don't feel that full, if that makes sense. Spider web. I apologize, Miss Spider. All right, if we keep an eye on the pressure, we'll see how fast it rises. Because of course, this might also not be correct, but not always correct. That's why you check the gauge, and then you also check the weight. Spitting a lot of dry ice, though. Oh. Dry ice is cool. I'm being assaulted. Okay. It's a bit less than what was rumored. I got dry ice in my boots. But I think 119 is still a pretty decent delivery. I would have felt bad if it was under 100.
Second traffic light, turn right onto South Gates Drive and then turn right.
I have more or less made it to my second to last stop. The biggest problem is the fact that there's not really anywhere for me to park. Okay. There we go. They seem to be 3/4 full, which is fine, I guess. But they also are really low on PSI. We're at like 160 PSI. Easy peasy. No, I just... No, you big dummy. Okay, I'm not exactly stoked for this one, but I have no choice. They require CO2, so I must come to the rescue. Oh boy. This is an actual nightmare. This is my own personal nightmare. There is a line of cars trying to get out. Okay, I'm gonna end the recording until I get parked. Let's see here. I haven't been here in a while. They feel full, but I'm here, so I might as well. Ugh. Ugh. My biggest problem is with this is the most dumb CO2 bulk container placement I think I've ever delivered to. And the thing is that it's not even really this pizza place's fault. It's the only place they can actually do it. They can actually put it. They literally cannot put it anywhere else. It wouldn't be so bad if there was a million kabillion people here. But unfortunately, there's a million kabillion people here. What's the PSI? Like almost 300. All right, now comes the really dangerous part. I've got to turn on, I got to get my valve. Ooh. Okay. All right. There. Have some CO2. If I can get to 100 pounds, it'll be worth it. I don't know, I have a feeling that I won't get to 100 pounds because it was 3/4 full and this is a 300. So there wasn't even 100 pounds. It wasn't even missing 100 pounds. Yeah, it's projected to only need 93. All right, they're done. Okay, that was my last stop. Okay, so I have made it back to my home base. All that's left for me to do is turn in, well actually I don't even have to turn in paperwork because I don't have any paperwork to turn in. But I have to fill my truck up. As you can see, it has started to snow. Anyways, that's basically it for this video. I've got nothing else interesting that's going to be happening today.
So this will be me signing out. It's been a while since I've said this, but I've been Ben, and I've been on the road, and I'll see you